But yeah, I mentioned the old Perseverance earlier on. Perseverance, because this has blown me away. This is NASA, isn't it, that have done this? We are out there. This is the Mars 2020 Mars rover mission, NASA's exploration program, and includes this probe, this small probe, and a robotic helicopter, which apparently is called Ingenuity. And yes, we're getting our first pictures back, aren't we, from the surface of Mars? We saw a few of it sort of landing the other day. Now we're getting all these fabulous pictures. So I thought I'd throw this up for you to see. Where is it? Here it is. Yes, so this is the first one. Wow. So yeah, that's the actual surface there of Mars. So, I mean, okay. There's no McDonald's or anything like that. It's probably pretty much what you'd expect, but it's pretty spectacular, isn't it? And with more clarity than I think we've ever seen before. I'm pretty interested in the whole real life spacey stuff, but I wonder if you are, and I wonder if he is. Barnaby Jago, what do you make of this?
Oh, it's fascinating. It's so amazing. I love the whole sort of like spacey stuff and NASA missions and all these sort of things. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful picture. And it's obviously the context of it. I mean, it's not red. It's not the red planet. It's sort of like browny sort of mud, sort of rather Somish. But it's just but it's so exciting and just like really, because we should be out there, exploring and brave new worlds and stuff like that. And I love all this space stuff. It's brilliant.
It is extraordinary, isn't it? Extraordinary when you think about how far away this is and how clear this picture is. It's almost as if there are others as well. There are others like panoramic ones, and it's almost as if you could sort of reach out and touch it. And I understand it departed like 15 years ago or something. This mission's been ongoing for well over a decade, and the technology's been out there reaching its destination. But it just blows me away. Have you always been interested in the real life behind it as well, real space travel, Barnaby? Has that always gone side by side with your sci-fi love?
Yes, I love the kind of like that sort of sci-fi which is actual proper, science fiction, has elements of science in it, but also turns it on its head a bit and just makes you think more. I mean, that's what classic Star Trek used to be about. The Next Generations and things. They would have. It was kind of like when I was watching it as a kid, it was sort of like teach me kind of like science as well, which I really loved, and would sort of like make me feel kind of clever for sort of getting it as they would describe it. Yeah. When nowadays modern Star Trek more seems to be a bit more, it just wants to be Marvel. It's more sort of like dude bros in space. My God, a planet just went supernova. I'm one of those very annoying people. I think it was during the first Star Trek movie when Romulus's sun blows up, and Spock is on a planet, and he looks up or something, and he actually sees it happen. He sees the sun explode, or Romulus explode, just when on another planet. I'm actually going, he wouldn't see it exactly as it blew up because the it takes a while for light to get to other planets. So wrong there. And one of those very annoying geeky people who get that.
It's a very, very, very nitpicky. JT, what do you think of this? A Doctor Who fan who's a nitpicker. Have you ever heard anything like it?
Nothing at all. I haven't heard of it. But what I can say about that picture is if you've seen one quarry, you've seen them all.
I think that's
isn't that Wales?
Comment. Yeah. When you've watched a lot of Doctor, there's somebody standing off to the left with a flask or one of those great big sort of puffer jackets there to throw around an actor. Actually, if anybody's done that in his time, it's probably this bloke. Let's bring on Ian David Diaz. I bet he's thrown a few puffer jackets around actors and some of those silvery blankets, hasn't he? What do you think, Ian?
I have. You know what? This is probably not Mars. Is it Mars? It is Mars, right?
We're told it's Mars. Yes.
Don't start this conversation going. They haven't actually got there.
Conspiracies already.
I'll tell you something, Barnaby, as well.
That's what it is.
What you just said there, Barnaby, actually frightened me a little bit there, because you said the first Star Trek movie. I think you'll find it was the 11th Star Trek movie, love.
The nitpickers.
Bad
nitpicking even amongst the panel, everybody. This is what you
know. It's just JT.
Goodness me, how young is that boy?
JT's having a go. He always has a go. Every week he has a go. We wouldn't love him if he doesn't have a go. Come on.
You're quite right. I mean, when you've watched enough vintage science fiction, I mean, somebody in the chat there is mentioning Blake 7. You think it is very, very Quarry-esque, isn't it? So here I've got another picture just to compare, just to prove to everybody that Doctor Who has, of course, been there already. There's Mars. I think I prefer Doctor Who Mars. What do you think, starry-eyed girl? What do you think? You're the expert.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I'm disappointed that there's no ice warriors or monsters of any kind. I wanted monsters or aliens. I just got brown.
Martians.
Well, we've got. I mean, as Barnaby said, you described it as some-like the colour there.
But of course, muddier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. I'm going to have to come to Barnaby's defence, being the other youngish person on the panel. I know what he meant. He meant the first Abrams Trek movie, which of course is completely different. Trek, and I'm with you.
The reason why it looks muddy is because they didn't push the lights in further.
Yeah,
to make it brighter. That's why it's muddy. You see, they
ran out of budget.
They ran out of money. That's probably what it is.
All the tricks of the trade coming to you live on Type 40 Live. Yeah, I think they could just do with turning the contrast up because obviously Doctor Who Mars there on the right from 2009's The Waters of Mars, no less. And it's it's more. Would you call it the red planet? It's more the sort of orangey planet, isn't it? It's very orangey. What's orange and sings opera?
There we go. Who knows?
Leslie Carrot. If you'd like to go to Mars, if you'd like to book up for the next trip, let us know in the chat what you think about that. If you think this is a viable place, because this is the thing, apparently they're looking for viable places to set up human colonies, aren't they, in the far future. Now, I think it's a long way to go for a bit of peace and quiet. I mean, particularly when we're in the middle of lockdown here in Great Britain. But who knows? There might be people out there who would jump at the chance. Absolutely jump at the chance. Would you jump at the chance, Simon? Bit of peace and quiet?
Well, yeah, I'd certainly jump at the chance of a bit of peace and quiet. But I remember hearing about, obviously, this whole Mars thing has been in the news a lot this week. And I remember hearing the news reports saying, we're looking now. It's not just Mars. We're looking that we're going to have to colonize other planets. And I'm thinking, no, don't let humanity colonize other planets. We've messed up one planet.
Absolutely.
Please don't go and mess up Mars. Don't go and mess up other planets. So as much as I'm fascinated by space exploration, I'm thinking, please leave the other planets alone. Stanley Arthur C. Clarke was the one who, in 2010, the novelization said, this one place is yours and leave everything else alone. And I think he gave humanity Europa or Io, as I recall.
But who are they to tell us what to do?
And he did and he did sort of say, you have this, but don't mess up anything else. And that's me.
Why?
Let's just stick with
why don't we just send all the morons?
Why don't we just go, look, we can go anywhere we want.
Hello, Thinking.
Thinking's here watching in the chat here on YouTube, and he says, I want to know what it tastes like. Have they changed the ingredients once again?
Yeah, I think they've taken out half of the sugar. I think that's what's happened.
Could be. They've certainly got
That's why it looks a bit muddy.
The 100-calorie chocolate bars are on the way.
And don't start me on Cadbury's cream eggs.
Oh, dear. Yeah, they're tiny.
They are very, very, very tiny, aren't they? Yeah, somebody in the chat is asking a question. We might as well get to this now. Yes, because we don't know if there's going to be life on Mars yet, do we? We have no idea. We understand there might be a few drops of water. I think they found water and a little bit of vegetation last time.
No, we don't drink the water. We've been through
it. Because we'd like to think too that we aren't going to be faced with sites like the 12th Doctor faces here, that the Ice Warriors aren't going to sort of stumble out of the dark, cavernous underground and basically tell us to bugger off. We hope that's not going to happen. We hope they're going to be pretty friendly. But what do you think? If there is life on Mars, do you think it's long gone, everybody?
Is there life in Peckham? That's what I want to know.
Is there life in Peckham?
I still remember.
That's an old song.
This is many years ago now, many decades ago, and I remember a news report that I can't remember ultimately whether it was kind of debunked or what they said about it, but supposedly a probe over the top of Mars had looked down and seen a figure standing in what looked like ice cream in a crater full of ice cream. Does anybody else remember that? It was
ice cream.
Which I'm probably showing my age.
Was it Rocky Road?
Probably. I still think it was probably Walls just trying to drum up a bit of business for the Ice Cream Mars bar.
Was it published in April by any chance, Simon?
Well, it could well be. Maybe I'm just gullible. I don't know.
Just like me. Who knows? I mean, life on Mars might not look remotely like the Ice Warriors had it, or the Sycorax, or anybody else in the Doctor Who universe that's hung out there. But it could look maybe a little bit like this. What do you think of that?
Oh wow, that's brilliant.
This is some. I think, Simon, we can call this fan art. I think it classes as fan art.
I'm not sure. I can honestly call it fan art
because people are asking in the chat. Because yes, our cliffhanger ending at the end of the last last episode of Type 40 Live. You could call it our mid-season cliffhanger. That works, doesn't it? Yes, because Simon, you were toying with the idea of, as a few people have noticed, of dyeing your hair, weren't you? And we can't help but notice that you are still au natural at the moment.
Yeah, it's not blue. I have tried. I hasten to add, I have tried it. I've gone for it. I've got the blue dye. It didn't work. The fact is, it didn't work. I've done a sort of strand test, and it just came out sort of muddy grey, bluey kind of. It didn't work. So I think what I'm going to have to do is literally lighten my hair before I can put the blue on. So it's just one of those things that it sounded like such a good idea at the time. I thought it was going to be so simple, and it's become an absolute mammoth thing.
What's a palaver?
Exactly. That's what it is, JT. Wow. It's a palaver, and so I'm still intending to go blue. Don't worry, but it's work in progress. Let's just say it's a work in progress. Stay tuned, as JNT would
say. Get a wig. Get a wig. Get a wig.
It is a wig. What do you mean it is a wig?